Okay, we're gonna put the rear end in today. Well, I got some help here. I got Corey back there to help me because this thing is freaking heavy now. Fully assembled. It's, you know, it's a couple £100. It ain't the lightest thing in the world. I painted that since the last thing I did. But I started by putting the coilovers in. I got them hanging from the top mounts. They're just, I don't have them snug down or anything. They're just loose dangling. I also have the lowers in. I don't have my upper bushings in yet. They're going to be in Monday, and when they do that, I'll put them in and then have the upper control arms in. But this way, at least while I have someone here, I can get a hand to do this because it's fucking heavy. So everything's ready to go for the most part. I had to spray a little primer up in there because I forgot I grinded the paint and completely forgot about it until today, until I crawled under here. Jack handles all up in my parachute. Stupid spacers. No, we're not going to tighten it just yet. So, this has to be rotated up. So, I'm going to crawl under the front of it, rotate it up, and we're going to put the lower control arm in. Right, you can see without the uppers how crooked she is. But that was a prick. That runs fucking heavy. There ain't no lying about that. It looks good. Do me a favor, jack that up slow. I'm glad I painted it body matched.
That's what looks good though.
Yeah. Well, one snag I did run into, as I thought I was going to once I weld the coilover bar, is my fuel lines are in the shock. So I have to move the mount over, but you can't go too far because the mini tub is right there. So I'm going to move that over and remount that, but other than that, I can deal. It's like the 8th time. But we're going to go over, once I get those other shocks in, the other bushings in, we're going to go over setting up the suspension and getting this thing squared in the wheel well and everything, and going over that whole biz. But I am so happy I body matched this thing. This shit just looks so badass. Alright guys, we're back under the car here. As you can see, I jumped ahead a couple steps when we were putting the rear diff in. I didn't show you guys, you know, all the coilover stuff and all the control arms and the bushings and everything. I mean, it's pretty straightforward how to put these bushings in. Just make sure you clean the bores in the rear end really good. I got the brake line clamps in today to hold the brake lines now. It's a little dark under here, I know. It's a pain in the ass. There. Well, you can see the bushings are in, but now you see all the bolts are loose. Every single last suspension bolt is loose. There is not a single tight bolt under the rear end of this car. And there's a reason for that. And we're going to do that now. So the reason for that is when you got this thing up on jack stands, the last thing you want to do, oh shit, the last thing you want to do is tighten those bolts with this rear axle hanging down. You want the weight to be sitting on the car and tighten them because they will bind. They're metal sleeves. I mean, you don't want to do it with rubber bushings either. You don't want to do it with suspension, period. So that is something that you want to have the weight on the car before you tighten a single bolt. Now, if you remember, I made these jacks. These blocks, the whole car up on it. and that's called cribbing. You can look it up. I used probably 10 or 12 2x4s, and I just screwed them all together. There's, I don't know, 14 inches wide, 16, 18 inches long. I wish I went a little longer in the back to fit the tire in better. As you can see, I can get my fingers under here, but they still do the job. I'd probably go like 2 feet. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe like 22 inches, somewhere around that neighborhood. But you don't want this thing to roll back and forth. And then once the car's up on it, I mean, I got plenty of work under here. You know, I'm under the car on a creeper. I'm not just laying on my back, and I'm not a small dude here. So it gets up the car pretty high. I think they're, I don't know, 16 inches high, something like that. I don't know. I mean, you got the boards right there, so you can count out how many inches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're all 1.5 inches. Because lumber isn't a 2x4. It's 1.5 inches by 3.5, which is fucking stupid in my eyes. But anyway, we'll move on. So now we're going to tighten up all the suspension bolts, but don't tighten up the adjustment bolts. So you got your adjustment here, and I can still rotate this on the uppers and lowers and on your coilovers. And that is because you have to set things like instant center and anti-squat and all that fancy stuff where you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've read a lot on the internet. And it's different between a slick car and a radial car. So, we'll go over that to the best of my ability to explain it. But that is something that you will have to work out on your own while you're racing your car. Now, you want more, there's a couple charts online. I will try to find the links to them and put it in the description to help you set this up. And what the anti-squat and instant center is, it's the spot on the car where the upper and lower control arms meet. Imaginary line. This confused the shit out of me because people really didn't say it. So you got your uppers, you got your lowers like this, and you got your uppers like this. And if you draw an imaginary line out from both of them, they will eventually intersect somewhere down the length of the car. So there's a fine line on where you need that point to be on what the car will do. It could wheelie, it could it could just blow the tires off. It could blow the tires off 60 feet out. And like I said, holy shit, it just started pouring outside. Wow. Good, my grass is dying. On a radial car, it's completely backwards of a slick car. So on a slick car, you want that car to squat and go. On a radial car, you want the rear end and body to separate. I think I've explained this a couple of times. So you drive the rear end into the ground. But the body stays where it's planted, or it pushes up. So for now, we're going to get all these bolts tightened up. I still haven't even hooked up my anti-roll bar, because you can't do that without weight on it either. So we got to hook that up and talk about this. Because you got to put preload into this side so it keeps the car straight. Alright, let's tighten some bolts. How fun does that sound, right? Don't mind my hair. I wasn't able to get my hair cut Saturday because I was at the FedEx Cup watching all the pros up there play golf. This past Saturday, that was my haircut day. You want to adjust the right side one because that's what the car will squat on. Now you can see the hexagon. This is called a flat right here. So if you ever hear someone talking about, oh, I got 2 flats in it, that's what they mean. This is a flat. So that would be one, you want to count it. You know, pick a spot, right? Let's say if I go from the bolt head, so that would be 2 flats right there. Oh, hold on. Sorry. So this is the flat, the edge of the hexagon, the flat part, right? So you want to go off the bolt. So that would be 1, 2 flats. 2 flats of tension. I think that puts 15 pounds of pressure per flat into this. So this is neutral. See how it just wiggles around? There's nothing. You want to go, I think it's just 1 flat. That's it. I think that's 15 pounds, and I think that's all it's supposed to have. Obviously, that can change, but it's funny. You can watch the body pick up with that 1 flat. It's ever so slightly. If you pay attention, you can see it. So, here's a quick tip. I don't know if I actually went over this before or not, but when you put your control arm bolt in, put it facing the wheel like this. So if you need to make a control arm change, you can just get the nut from the backside, pull the bolt out, stick it back in, put the nut back in. You don't have to take the wheel off. Now you can see my lower control arm angle is coming down. That's why I got these brackets, because at this height the hole would be about up here. I think this is the stock location hole. Oh shit. Sorry about that, got it back. I think this is the stock location hole, and I'm down a hole to keep the angle going up towards the body on the control arms. That's what you want. But that will change your instant center or your anti-squat. It'll change one of those. I can't remember exactly which one. Like I said, I don't really 100% understand it all. Got every bolt under there tight. Every bolt tight. Double check it. Now that I'm looking at this, I don't like the way they come through far enough. You need the nut to go through the end of the bolt to go through the end of the nylock. Once you get all that tight, you can start measuring. Now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up putting jack stands under the back of this thing. You, with the anti-roll bar hooked up, you don't want to jack from the sides anymore. You want to jack it straight from the center. Jack from the sides, it can tweak everything, throw everything off, cause some damage. So what I'll probably do is jack it up from the center, put jack stands back under it, take the tires off, and start the measurements. You remember the tape on the floor with the plumb bob? You're going to do that again, because you need to make sure this rear end's perfectly centered side to side and front to back. You can't go adjusting anything until that's done. Once that's done, you can start tweaking it a little bit. Now, you remember why I told you to measure your factory control arms, because you can take the factory measurement off and start there. So it'll be really, really close to being on point. Alright? So I'm going to cut you off. I'm not going to show you jacking it up and put it on stands. And we'll get back to measuring. Fun. Okay, here's the deal. I had a bunch of footage recorded of setting up the rear end on jack stands, taking all your measurements, plumb bombing, tape on the floor, everything, how to make sure you have this rear end centered in the car, in the body. Something happened. Most of the footage is corrupted. I was able to get everything you just watched previously on this video back. It took me like 2 days to figure out how to get it back. I don't know what happened. I think when I dropped the camera, I don't know, but it's corrupted. I lost about 4 hours of filming. It sucks. I will make another video doing it. I have no problem setting the car back up on stands and going over that with you guys if you like to. Comment if you want me to do that. I have no problems doing it for you guys because I try to be informative as possible with any video I do with you guys, so you can sit here and look back at this video when it comes your time to do this and be like, hey, this was a huge help. I love the messages I get from everybody on Facebook and on Instagram, mostly Instagram because my Facebook's kind of more private, that you guys enjoy the videos. That's great. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. It's taken a while to get here, but you know what? Now it's coming fast, and I welcome all you new guys and girls. I know there's some of you in there. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. I don't know what it'll be yet. Maybe it'll be a Racestatus hat, Racestatus t-shirt, maybe a car part on the shelf I'm not using or won't use, or that's sitting in the box that I bought wrong. I don't know yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about a giveaway. I could do a hat, any color, any size, whatever you want. I haven't done t-shirts yet. I'm going to wait and to do t-shirts because I have a couple designs in my head and I got to talk to my guy about it. But, like I said, I couldn't finish the video. So this is going to end that video here. I got another video coming about wastegate provisions. You can see the car's kind of torn back apart again. So I got that other video coming with wastegate provisions, and a big announcement will be in that video as well. I also have a video, a couple people have asked me, I've just started filming it, have asked me about mounting a lower valance on a stock bumper and how I went about doing it. So I got those two videos coming. I'm going to try to get this little snippet edited up. I have the rest of the video all edited, so I just got to add this in and drop it for you guys. I know it's been a little bit of time. Life's been hectic. But we'll get it all figured out, guys. So, like usual, get in the garage, go to the refrigerator, grab yourself a cold one, whether it's beer or soda, and get working on your hot rod and get that thing going, alright?